Hi, and welcome to Mrs. PM Reads, where we are continuing in the Magic Circle by Katherine Neville. I do want to point out there may be some bumping of the computer. I've gotten a new pillow to rest the book on. I'm trying it out. I'm not sure it's working. We'll see. But it is not, it's shaking the computer. All right. So in our last video, in our last video, we were hearing about the Mongolian nations and their rulers and the Khans and the Silken Road and the caves where some powerful documents may have been hidden, and then some mystical cities that all of these things, once all the powerful things are combined, these cities are going to rise. And there's even one more, the Russian city of the Grail. So all kinds of legends. Yeah. Again, historical fiction, right? So do your research. Okay. Volga couldn't have hit the button better when he said I might find a hidden level in the story he had to tell me. He must have noticed just now the effect of what he'd said, for he suddenly stopped speaking. He long ago released my hands and was now watching me closely. The story of Kitze was told in the famous Rimsky-Korsakov opera. Jersey had the starring role of Lady Fevronia, savior of the city, the last time we visited Leningrad. In A Tale of Two Cities, the first destroyed by the grandson of Genghis Khan in his 10-year rape and pillage of the lands between the Volga and the Danube, a conquest followed by a long-term suppression of Russia, first under the Mongol hordes, then the equally brutal reign of Tamerlane's Turks. The hopes of the Christian Russians were kept alive for 300 years until Ivan the Great freed them by the myth of the second city, Great Kitsan. The prayers of Lady Fevronia, an innocent forest maiden bringing the city protection by the Virgin Mary, who converts it with a lake through whose clear waters it can be seen, but not reached or harmed. Kitze, like the Grail, is attainable only by the faithful, like Fevronia, who can accept the concept of life without time, and who will live in the restored city when it rises, dripping from the waters like a new Jerusalem at the dawn of a new age, as it does at the end of the opera. Interesting. In this case, I knew the lost city wasn't just a landscape of the mind. Lost cities of the Khazars had only recently been discovered in this same region, which Stalin had buried underwater when rerouting rivers. Oh. This triggered a picture that was gaining prominence in my mind, something that seemed to pop up at every metaphysical, metamorphical, mystical turn. Oh, that was a mouthful. In this millennial hunt for the sacred hallows, something I knew must be the kernel of hidden truth in Pandora's manuscripts. All these legends, the Kitze, the Eddas, the Nibelunglag, oh my gosh, Nibelungenlied, the Grail, sagas of Wolfram van Eschenbach and Schreiten de Troyes. They all tied together somehow, aren't they, Volga? I said. Easy for her to say. He nodded slowly, but continued to study me. So I went on. It must mean something then that while they're all a bunch of legends, they're set within the context of plenty of verifiable historical facts. Not to mention that the objects and places and events described in these tales seem to have been sought for so long by everyone from powerful political leaders to mysterious mystics. I thought I noticed a strange gleam in the depths of Volga's black eyes. Okay, I've got it, I said all at once on my feet, though I could still see my breath in the air. I didn't want another swig of Slivovitz just yet. I paced as Volga sat in silence. Norse, Teutonic, Slavic, Celtic, Sesmitic, Indo-European, Aran, Greco-Roman, Dravidian, Thracian, Persian, Aromatic, Ugaritic, I said. But Pandora figured out how they're all related, didn't she? That's the reason why she divided her manuscripts among 4 people in the same family who never spoke to each other. So nobody could ever put it all together and see what she had seen. Then I stopped and stared at Volga, realizing I might have revealed too much of what I knew or didn't know. After all, hadn't Laugh sent him all this way here to reveal things to me instead? But when I looked down at Volga, he had a strange expression. There is one very important thing in what you've just said, more important than the rest, he told me. Can you see what it is? When I was clearly at sea, he said, the number 4. 4 people, 4 corners, 4 quarters, 4 sets of documents. Time is of the essence, for the aeon draws near, and you haven't seen the parts Pandora herself collected, all combined. As I understand it, nobody's seen them all, I pointed out. That's why I've come to Russia tonight, Volga said with great care. My heart was pounding as I slowly sat down again. In Idaho, you were unprepared for the acceptance of this mission that now I see in your eyes. I hope it is not too late. There is one person who's had access to all the documents over the past many years, or at least to those individuals who themselves possess them. Although, as you've suggested, those 4 people, Lafcadio, Augustus, Ernest, and Zoe, were estranged from one another. They were not estranged from her. Oh. I stared at him, not believing my ears. There was only one person he could possibly be speaking of, but then, mercifully, I thought of a hitch that would make his suggestion impossible. It's true that Jersey was married to my father Augustus, and afterwards to Uncle Ernest too, I admit, and we lived off and on with Uncle Laugh while I was growing up, in the years between. But Jersey never had anything to do with my horrid Aunt Zoe in Paris. The 2 of them have never even met, so far as I know. If Russian walls had ears, it would take an initiate to translate Volga's reply. I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you, but it's quite urgent that you know, Volga said firmly. Ha! Sorry. Your mother, Jersey, is the daughter of Zoe Ben. All right. It's a little bit of a short video, but that's the end of that section. We've got a whole different section coming after this. So we're going to stop here. I'm sorry for the bumpy. I'm hoping that it is still bumpy. Oh, because the pillow, the pillow is sitting on the table that's holding the computer. I got to figure it out, but we'll make it work. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.